I say good afternoon, it's actually 6 o'clock in the evening. Look at the sunshine, how exciting. And it's not cold in my car. Although I will make this quick because I need the loo. Overshare. I have just been to see, quite spur of the moment, I decided, as my needy as F dog had company in that my daughter was going to be in the house, I decided to nip off to see a 4 o'clock showing of Renfield. And I'm really glad I did. So let me tell you about Renfield. Why have I started talking like a kids' TV presenter? Renfield is a horror comedy from director Adam McKay, who is responsible for the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie. So good with comedy. It is directed by Adam McKay, written by a guy called Ryan Ridley, who's one of the writers on Rick and Morty, or maybe the writer on Rick and Morty. I don't know, I don't watch it. But it's based on an original idea by Robert Kirkman, who is the brains behind the Walking Dead comic. So that's the pedigree of the film. That's the creative minds behind it. It is the story of Robert Montague Renfield, who is played by Nicholas Hoult, and he is Dracula's familiar. So basically, Dracula's man-bitch, servant, slave, tied to him, has a snippet, it's not the word I want, like a drop of Dracula's power to sustain that he has to eat bugs. All of this made me think of the Dracula episode of Buffy, but vampires are always going to make me think of Buffy. Of course they are. So yeah, basically Renfield met Dracula a long ago when he was a lawyer. He went to try and do a real estate deal and got sucked in, got caught in Dracula's thrall and became his familiar. So for all the decades since, it's been Renfield's job to bring him victims and, you know, cover up the mess he makes and move them from town to town as and when they, you know, cause too much trouble, draw too much attention and have to move on. And as we meet Renfield, they've just had to relocate again to New Orleans, and this is the story of how he is trying to break free from his codependent relationship with the Prince of Darkness. It's really funny. It's definitely more comedy than horror, although it is extremely gory. Now, weirdly, I quite enjoy a bit of gore if it's done in the right way, and actually comedy gore is probably my favourite kind. I don't like sort of torture porn. I don't like that sort of gore. But when somebody, and by somebody I mean Nicholas Hoult, in a fight sequence rips a guy's arms off and then uses said arms to beat other assailants, I am absolutely there for that. A lot of people get stabbed in the neck. There's quite a lot of squirty blood, guts falling out, but like I really like that stuff. And it's just so much fun. So they've moved to New Orleans. They get caught up in an ongoing beef between a cop played by Awkwafina, whose father has been murdered, and there's this big crime family, the Lobo family, who basically run the town, dealing drugs, cops in their pockets, all that sort of thing. And somehow Renfield's plight, his story with Dracula, crosses paths with Rebecca Quincy, that's Awkwafina's character, her quest to bring down the Lobo family because of what they did to her dad and basically to clean up the town. There are some spectacular fight sequences. Like I say, Renfield has a small percentage of Dracula's power as long as he eats a bug or two. So when he's sort of fueled up, there are some really great fight sequences, and it's good fun to see Nicholas Hoult playing an action type figure. He's still very British and floppy haired. My friend who I went to see it with whispered he really reminds me of Hugh Grant here, which obviously, considering we first all saw Nicholas Hoult in About a Boy with Hugh Grant all those years ago, that just seemed quite fitting. But I really like Nicholas Hoult. I've got a lot of, although weirdly I didn't like About a Boy, but everything I've seen him in, I've enjoyed him. Weirdly, I didn't see Skins, which I know is the thing that sort of launched him as an actor outside of being a child actor, although I guess he was a teenager early 20s when he did Skins, I don't know. But even in things like The Favourite, where everybody was wanging on about the women, and rightly so, because, you know, Olivia Colman, Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, it's a hell of a trio, not trilogy, hell of a trio. But Nicholas Holt's in that, all bewigged and powdered, and he's really funny. And he's good in the X-Men films as Beast, and he's just... I really like the guy. So the last thing I saw him in was The Menu, where he plays like a super fan of the chef that Ralph Fiennes is playing. I just think he's great. He's versatile, he's interesting, he's obviously quite a handsome chap. But this was good fun to see him getting to do some fight sequences while still being quite British and polite. Even though he works for Dracula, still being quite apologetic. I like that. Awkwafina, everything I've seen her in has been superb. I haven't seen her in loads of stuff, but I always enjoy her when she's in things. So yeah, just really good fun. I haven't even mentioned playing Dracula, Nicolas Cage. It's just Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. He's so ludicrous. Like, the last thing I saw him in was The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, when he plays like a caricature version of himself, but it's just what he's like, isn't it? He just does like big and over the top. And apparently he's got this thing where he won't be in a film unless he's the central character. And in this, he's actually not. But the scenes, particularly between him and Renfield, are superb. And he just gets to ham it up like nobody's business. Apparently he's always wanted to play Dracula, so he got his wish in this. And he plays him with, you know, all the full tilt Nicolas Cage over the top batshit craziness that you'd expect, but it's really fun to watch. So yeah, 90 minutes, lots of laughs, loads of gore, quite a lot of nonsense, great performances all round, just a lot of fun. And sometimes it's just nice to watch something really fun. A guy just drove through the gap next to me, and then he's just driven up the no entry ramp over there. Honestly, what's the matter with people? Anyway, I digress. I really need the loo, so I'm going to go. Go and see Renfield. It's a 15. It's gory. If you don't like gore, don't see it. But if you do like lols, Nicolas Cage eating scenery, and humans, and Nicholas Hoult being floppy head, apologetic and funny, then yeah, check it out. It's a good one. Okay, I'm done. Katie out. Bye-bye.